Hi everyone, Candace McCool here. Thank you so much for joining me. So Shiloh is now 15 weeks old, and so we are continuing to do obedience training, and I've actually started a little bit training for her service dog tasks. And so you'll find out what tasks that I have started trying to get her used to doing to be able to assist my 5-year-old daughter, Logan Elise, with her wheelchair and things that she can't do on her own. So stay tuned. Some of the things that we have been attempting to do is getting Shiloh more used to being around a wheelchair, and it's actually become one of her favorite spots. And she will go right up underneath the wheelchair and just lay there. Now, it's a catch-22. One, I really like that because when we are out and about in the city, we want her to be able to go up underneath that wheelchair to kind of get out of the way of everyone walking around. The downside to that is when she's at home and she's just stopping temporarily and she gets up underneath there, Logan can't go anywhere and it's kind of hard to coax her out. So we're still learning on that one. The other thing that we have been doing is walking next to her wheelchair. So Logan uses a hands-free leash that basically you can just kind of clip around your body, and then that way she is free to roll her wheelchair as Shiloh is walking right next to her. Now, as we are learning, I also have a leash connected to Shiloh so she doesn't bolt off or pull too much or anything like that. The other thing that we've been working on is the leave it command. So I used something really stinky, the trash, and I knew that that was going to be really tempting for her. And so I waited until she was kind of sniffing around right before I took it out to the garbage can. And I said, leave it. And she did great. This was actually the very first time that she's actually heard that command before. And she did great. Leave it. Yes. Come here. Good girl. Sit. Yes, good girl. And the next thing that we did is I wanted to introduce her to a task that she's going to be able to do with Logan in the wheelchair. So we went to our local outdoor mall and we actually started pushing on the little wheelchair access buttons in front of the stores, because even though technically Logan can reach that one, I wanted her to get used to being able to jump up and actually touch a button, because that's going to lead into actually reaching light switches down the road. But for now, we're just working on touching, and so I put like a little piece of cheese on the top of the button so that she would go up and touch it with her nose, and as she did that, she actually pushed the button. So that's kind of how I'm teaching her to do that. As far as socialization goes, we have had a really fun time. So we took Shiloh to the playground. I wanted her to be around a bunch of kids. I wanted her to be around that high energy to see how she dealt with it and how she would react to all of the squeals and the running around, because Logan really doesn't do that. She's a super calm kid at home, and so I wanted that hustle and bustle of the playground. And she did great. I was so impressed with her. She did try to pull a couple of times, you know, because she wanted to join in on the fun, and they had like a ball and she wanted to go after the ball. But she settled down really nicely. She wound up sitting next to me on the park bench as Logan kind of danced and twirled with some of the other kids at the park. So that was really, I feel like, a great socialization experience for us. She was great when the kids wanted to come over. I make her sit before they are allowed to pet her, and so she's doing much better on that as well. The other thing is we went into the library. It got really hot. It's about 80-ish degrees here in Alabama now, and it's not even summer. So we cooled off in the library, and she just sat next to our chair the entire time. Logan wanted to get into one of the little reading nooks, and so she sat next to Logan the whole entire time, didn't make a peep, didn't try to move around. She was just right there being really calm and docile. What are we doing today?
Reading a book.
reading a book at the library. And we got Shiloh here, sitting good. And another thing that we've been doing is we socialized her with another dog. So because she has not been fully vaccinated, I have not taken her to a dog park around dogs that we do not know. But I do have a friend, her name is Julia, and she has a dog that is a service dog for her diabetes. She is type 1 diabetic. And so this is Mikey, and he came over to play today, and they had such a good time. They didn't both get off of the leash at once because honestly, we were just introducing them. Mikey is fully vaccinated, very calm. You know, Julia knows just how to control him. He was super calm and just kind of aloof with her, which is really what Shiloh needed because Shiloh's still in that super bubbly, bouncy puppy dog energy phase. And Mikey is about 6 months old. So he's kind of getting to that age where he will focus more and mind more and be more obedient, and he just kind of let Shiloh do her own thing and bounce around and everything, and he sniffed her, and Shiloh was a little apprehensive, but by the end of our little session she was doing great. They were laying down next to each other. They even touched noses, I think, or maybe paws at one time. So we're going to try to get them together actually out in a store so that almost like Mikey can practice focus, and Shiloh can now learn from seeing it being done, if that makes sense. So the other thing that we've been doing is having a lot of fun. And so anytime that I come across a product that I feel like works, I want to pass it along to you guys. So she will go out into our backyard and play and play and play until she's completely exhausted. It's called the Wiggle Wag Giggle Ball. I know, really long, crazy name to it, but it makes noises as it rolls, and something about the way that it makes noises, or maybe the pitch, I'm not sure, but she goes crazy over it. And so sometimes we will play soccer with it, and sometimes I'll just roll it out into the yard, and then sometimes it'll just be laying in the yard and she'll just go crazy after it. And that is a great way to control the zoomies. So every evening she gets super rambunctious, and I'm like, you've got to get this energy out. So I let her out in the backyard, and she just basically plays with it and gets tuckered out, and she's ready to go straight into her crate at bedtime and go to sleep. So that's really great. The other thing is we are still playing fetch with her, and you guys, little puppy dog ears are my absolute favorite. She is the cutest little thing playing fetch, but that's another good one. We'll also do it in the house and play tug of war with some of her toys and things like that. And so she gets a lot of exercise. I'll obviously take her out and, you know, walk with her or anything like that, with her still being such a baby. We are going to get her a pair of booties. I am waiting on those to come in right now. But you guys, check this out. The company said the best way to figure out what size she needs is to trace her paw on a sheet of paper. This did not go so well. I could not get her to put her paw down onto that paper and let me trace it. I tried everything. And so I actually just had to wind up waiting until she was really tuckered out, and I just grabbed her paw and pushed it up against a piece of paper and did it that way once she was calm enough and she wasn't in her little playful mode. And once we get the booties in, because obviously Alabama weather getting all the way up to the 80s right now. In fact, I think it's going to be 92 degrees today. That asphalt and the concrete just gets really, really hot. And so I want to protect her paws. And so once I get those in, I will try them on her and let you know how they work out. And if I like them, I will share it. If not, I'll still tell you what brand I got and if I had to ship it back or not. Oh, almost forgot to tell you about something that happened. So, you know, life with a dog, it's always interesting. Well, my family had a septic leak every once in a while because of the way that the pipe is located. I think that it's kind of around maybe like a root of some sort. And so the way that it kind of goes up and over, it kind of gets clogged from time to time, like once every 6 months. Well, it just so happens my husband was working late. I got my daughter her bath. I got her on her bowel management program, and so she was doing all of that. And then I go to get the dog back into the house because she'd been running around. Did not realize she was covered from head to toe in mud. So she made it halfway into my house before I realized it. I immediately, obviously, shut the door, went out, and she had completely destroyed with mud, or what I thought was mud, all in my front driveway. She had gotten into where the leak had happened and had just had a field day, covered from head to toe, called my husband, said, hey, this is leaking, what do I do? He said, Candace, that is not mud. That is a septic leak. And so you need to clean the house from top to bottom. You need to clean yourself. You need to give, Shiloh multiple baths because that is not just mud. And so that's what I did. And unfortunately, the bathtub drain would not drain. So it was standing water until my husband could get home and snake the drain, and then all was well. And then I spent the entire night cleaning up and cleaning myself up. It was on my shoes. It was in my hair, it was on my face. I mean, it was disgusting. But oh, the joys of owning a puppy. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna leave you with that really funny little story, and I hope that you join me next time, and I will continue to tell you about what we're doing with Shiloh, the future service dog.